Tinubu, representing Lagos Central Senatorial District. Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues, it is a privilege to lead the debate on the general principles of this bill for an act to amend the compulsory treatment.
Please proceed.
It is a privilege to lead the debate on the general principles of this bill for an act to amend the Compulsory Treatment and Care for Victims of Gunshots Act 2017 SB 748 to expand its scope, establish a medical emergencies assistance fund, and for related matters. This bill was first read on Tuesday, 22nd of June, 2021. The Compulsory Treatment and Care for Victims of Gunshots Act 2017 attempts to enforce treatment of victims of gunshot injury who prior to its enactment were being refused treatment by hospitals as a result of misinterpretation of Section 4 of the Robbery and Firearms Special Provision Act Cap 398 Laws of the Federation 1990, which provides that 1. It shall be an offense punishable under this act for any person to knowingly house, shelter, or give quarters to sheltering any person who has committed an offense under Section 1, subsection 2 of this act. 2. It shall be the duty of any person, hospital, or clinic that admits, treats, or administers any drug to any person suspected of having bullet wounds to immediately report the matter to the police. 3. Any A, person who, or B, hospital or clinic which fails to report as stipulated in subsection 2 of this section shall be guilty of an offense under this act. 4. A person convicted of an offense under subsection 1 and 3 of this section shall be liable, A, in the case of an individual to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 5 years, and B, in the case of a hospital or clinic, to a fine of 10,000 naira, and in addition, the hospital or clinic shall be closed down. Thus, the Compulsory Treatment and Care for Victims of Gunshots Act 2017 provides, amongst others, that 1, every hospital, public or private, shall receive for treatment with or without police clearance, with or without monetary deposits, persons with gunshot wounds, and criminalizes this contravention. 2, security agents and persons alike shall render every assistance to persons with gunshot wounds, etc. The Act goes on to provide a mechanism for reporting treatment of persons with gunshot wounds to police and precludes persons from being the subject of embarrassing interrogation for helping victims. It is, however, shocking that in spite of the Act, the flagrant disregard of human lives continues unabated. It is particularly sad that we continue to let brilliant and skillful minds go to waste in what are apparently avoidable deaths. In a country where emergency response service is almost non-existent, and getting victims to the hospital is already burdensome, it is sad that where the victim makes it to the hospital alive, they are still denied treatment and left to die. This is not only barbaric or inhumane, it is a violation of the Hippocratic Oath which medical professionals swear to. The situation is further made worse by the fact that obtaining these police reports has been commercialized by some, thus ensuring that there is no quick and easy way to get it done. On Friday, 15th of January 2021, David Interkem Rex, 22 years old systems engineer, was on his way from work and was attacked around Jibo Yaba in Lagos Central Senatorial District. Police, upon arrival at the crime scene, were said to be more concerned with whether he was a Yahoo boy and building a report than having saving David. It is alleged that he was rushed to the military hospital Yaba, where he was refused treatment on the basis that they could not ascertain whether or not he was a robber, and was subsequently moved to the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Luth, where he was not attended to before he gave up the ghost. For proper introduction, David is a child prodigy who contested against 17,000 other persons from various countries to emerge co-regional winner of the annual Master the Mainframe competition, organized by Angel Arc and IBMZ Academic Initiative. Unfortunately, the case of David is not a lone occurrence. Similarly, in December 2019, Muradil Balogun was stabbed at Bagada in Lagos State. Covered in her own blood, she managed to get to the nearest hospital where she was refused medical care until she bled to death. It is, however, sad that if the Compulsory Treatment of Victims of Gunshot Injuries Act was to follow to the letter, Muradil would still have been denied medical attention. Thus, this bill attempts to expand the scope of application to cover victims of gunshot injuries, knife wounds, and other life-threatening medical emergencies, and is predicated on a need to ensure that the Act passed into law in 2017 addresses the purpose of its enactment. Often, the argument is the financial burden on hospitals of providing medical care without payment. Thus, this bill also proposes the establishment of a Medical Emergencies Assistance Fund, MIF, to be administered for the purpose of paying for medical and associated costs in providing care to victims who are unable to cover the cost of medical care received. We must, as a nation, start to place more value on human lives. A first step towards that would be lending support to this bill and ensuring its expedited passage. Distinguished colleagues, in complying with Order 77, subsection 3 of the Senate Standing Order 2015 as amended, the financial implication of this bill is annexed. Therefore, I urge all my colleagues to please support this bill, and it's for the future of the present and the future of our generation. Thank you very much.
Deputy Leader of the Senate, just to point this out. It does appear that the legal obligation on the part of the hospitals and the security agents to provide medical assistance is already established here. My concern is this: what happens when they fail to carry out that legal obligation? Look at this, and I read, every hospital, that's the bill, every hospital, public or private, shall receive for treatment, shall. The legal obligation is already mandatory, it's already created, with or without police clearance, with or without monetary deposit, persons with gunshot wounds, and criminalizes contravention. It does criminalize contravention. What is the punishment? What is the penalty in the event that they contravene this? Is it provided for? Okay. If it's not provided for, when it goes to public hearing, please take that into account. I will now proceed to put the question. Those in favor that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate. A bill for an act to amend the Compulsory Treatment and Care of Victims of Gunshots Act 2017 to expand the scope, establish a medical emergencies and assistance fund, and align punishments contained therein with current realities and for related matters 2021. Second reading taken. The bill is referred to the Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters and the report back within 4 weeks. Leader of the Senate.